What is the PBO? Well, let me tell you, it's a Pokemon Draft League. GBA style format. Today, I'm Soaring Flying. If you don't know me, I'll be going over the PBO and its rule sheet and what we bring here. So here it is, the rule sheet, beautifully laid out. Shouts out me and other people who worked on it. So it's a casual comp Pokemon League. The words are linked to highlight it. There's links to stuff as to what everything is. This season, it's season 2. It is a Gen 9 Paldea Dex post-home draft. I should probably italicize that too. Ubers and a few of the mons are excluded, but we'll get to that. And each team is required to draft one Pokemon per run in its respective tier. Now, time recording, PBO Season 2 is already going on, but I will be linking the application sheet in the description of the video, so please look out for that. And what we did for this, drafted tier 1 through tier 5 in 6 rounds and had free tiers. I'll show you that later. So when drafting, 11 mons has to be on a team. Season 2 plus will be based off record, but long story for that one. And we get down to how do teams play each other well. This season, just like last season, we had 14 teams, 8 weeks of the regular season. There are 2 divisions, Kalos and Unova. 7 teams, 14 total teams. Look at that. Each division plays within itself 1 game with each respective player in the division. 2 games are played outside the division. The top 4 of the 7 teams from the division make the playoffs. Now, we like to be a little bit looser here. Let me be a little more forgiving, perhaps even. We want just teams to have fun. It's a casual comp league, you know. We want the battles to be competitive, but the field to be casual. That's the goal here. And the tiebreakers for playoffs, wins over losses. Divisional wins do not weigh more because it's not that in-depth of a league yet, hopefully. If 2 teams tie in a division, the team's differential will decide the tiebreaker, and the differential, meaning from plus 6-0 to plus 0, all the remaining amount of a live Pokemon in your party. 6-0 team that remembers alive, and you get a plus 6 to your differential. If you get a 2-0, then you get plus 2. And the losing team gets minus 2, and so on. The gameplay rules. Again, Casual Comp Passion Project. Link to my YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't already. The main rules. Before playing, you must DM me. I'm not a player. I manage the whole thing, as well with New York Nickets. You might know him as Little Hill. We'll be getting there soon. You must DM me your team, so just to make sure, just a quick run off that when we go through the rules, that you aren't breaking any, and we'll get through those as is. Level must be 100. All games are best 2 out of 3. You're allowed to make changes to your team between matches, but like Pokemon has to be the same 6 Pokemon you brought in game 1, the item clause still needs to be followed, and your Terra Captain typing cannot change Trash Slice type. However, must be turned on. Only 4 Pokemon max are allowed in back-to-back weeks. So for that example, if I have, oh goodness, Hippowdon, Hawlucha, Armarouge, Porygon Z, Gyarados, and Ceruledge, I can't bring the same 6 every week. So like Ceruledge and Armarouge will have to take the bench, which makes planning for each week-to-week battle a lot more interesting. You get more variety in your teams, which is more fun to watch. And from there, the items on your mons cannot be the same. You can't even run in quintuple heavy-duty boots, because I hate you if you do that. And now we get to Terra Captains. Only 1 Pokemon can be a Terra Captain. Only 1 Mon can terrestrialize. Has to be declared at the end of the draft, which you'll see again. The Pokemon can terrestrialize to one of its own types and another type. So if, for example, Palmont is electric fighting, you gotta pick 1. So Palmont would have to be electric dark or fighting dark. And that's just an example. It can be fighting fairy, electric fairy, whatever. And as soon as you said your 2 types, you were stuck with that for the whole season. No change in Terra Captains nor types, so please choose wisely. And this is a singles, Smogon singles league, 6v6. I believe that was prefaced earlier. Yeah, right there, 6v6 singles league, which I didn't touch on. But here, the Smogon singles. Here are all the rules. Let me add in actually a rule right here. Ending last respects. No baton passing. No revival blessing. All Ubers banned. No megas. No Z crystals. No gems. No Dynamaxing. Arena trap, show attack are banned. Hacks claws are listed. Items that involve luck or RNG cannot be used. Here are the examples. If you have any questions, ask us, please. 1-hit KO clause. You can't use Fissure, Guillotine, Horn Drill, Sheer Cold because that's weird. Evasion clause. You can't do any weird things like double team or sand attack, but you can use home clause, you know, because that's cool. Sleep clause, that's already a thing. If you don't know what that is, not more than one mon can be asleep on your team. Self-destruct clause can't be used to force a tie. So like if it's one-on-one and your Gengar uses Destiny Bond, can't do that because then it would result in a draw. It would be 0-0. Even if the mon kills your Gengar, the Gengar still kills you. So yeah, and the endless battle clause is a thing. Lepaberry, just read it. And acupressure is banned also because evasion gets doubled. Species clause, had this come up in the draft. You have one Pokemon of your team on your, you can't have 6 Mewtwo, for example. So like you can't have Rotom and Rotom-Mow. That's a good example. Moody, Supersonic, and Swagger are banned. These mons are banned. If any of you are super good to reading this, please tag soaringflying or Little Hill. Transactions and scheduling. We will play 1 game a week with advanced being Sunday. So yeah, it's 1 game a week. When scheduling, make sure you and the person have time to play within that week. Do not pester them as they probably do outside the PBO. If you forfeit to your opponent and the score will be 3-0, if you need an extra day or 2 to get the battle done, we allow 1 extension per person. Do not post when you will be in absence when you receive an automatic forced loss, which is a forfeit. Probably add that. Trading can only trades. Now we're still on the transaction scheduling. Transactions. So trading can only happen during the draft in weeks 2 through 5. Limited trades can happen during the draft. Example: ODU, UU, or tier 1 to tier 2. I mean tier 1 to tier 1 or tier 2 to tier 2. And within those 4 weeks, you're allowed to trade 1 mon a week within the same tier. And the free agency is allowed once a week for the whole season. But once you reach playoffs, your team is locked. The Pokemon you picked up has to be on your team at least 2 weeks so that you're not just constantly dropping mons, which is annoying teams to prep for. Agency swaps can occur between tiers as long as you have points. We can touch on that later. You still also need to maintain having one Pokemon on your roster. And in the playoffs, all teams will have seeding 1 through 4. 1 place 4, 2 place 3. All play games are best of 3. Championship is best of 5. In between matches, a 5-minute timer will start. Some teams can take notes in the other team, but no changes are allowed to be made during the playoff games. Once you reach the playoffs, your team roster is locked. You can also bring the same game shows aside. Item rule still applies. Working together, you're allowed to work with fellow friends or players when team building and preparing for battle, but no coach is allowed during the battle or the time in between the battles. Getting caught could mean instantly losing the match. That's future matches. Expulsion is also an option. And now we get to the off season. Look at that, live updates to the rulebook. In the off season, franchise and mon results in 40 to 20 points being taken away from the points allotted for each team's free picks. So we'll touch on that later again. A Pokemon cannot be franchised by a team for consecutive years. You can franchise any Pokemon you want. Tier 1 and Tier 2 results on minus 40 points. For Tiers 3 and below is a 20-point deduction. When you franchise, you forgo the round you franchise Pokemon in, which means after season 1 you have a completely new team. You draft the same team if you wanted, but other people probably draft the ones you wanted. Stat tracking, please, you do join. Uploading is a must. Please do it. That's all we ask. Let's do it. Punishments, there shouldn't be any. We also have this little safety net clause here, which I'm going to make italicized for those of you at home and those of you that read the document. I'm going to have all this linked in the description, if I remember, probably, hopefully. And there are 2 people running the league, Little Hill and I. Yeah, I link him in all my videos. Y'all know who he is. And if you make it this far, type Pikachu in chat so that I know. Which there's a link to that as well. And now here, those were the rules. And now we get on to the Google Doc. So here is our tier list for season 2. Again, it's the post-home draft decks. The mons are crossed out for the mons that were taken. So here it is. Tier 1 costs 180, Tier 2 costs 120, Tier 3 costs 100, Tier 4 costs minus 60, and Tier 5 costs minus 40. This is a GBA style draft. And from there, we can move on to the rosters and stats. Here are the rosters and the stats. We have the mon, the sprites, the points they're worth, the Terra types, the KDA, the time zones, the names, the showdown names, everything. So this is the guy I run the league with, New York Knicks. You know him. He might rebrand, you know, so you never know, never know. And so this is his team. If you didn't see his team yet, you will in a future video, or you might have already seen it depending on when this goes up. I think that is going to go up after this one, probably. The El Paso Charizards are here. The Boston Bulbasaurs are here. For those that don't have logos, I said if you want to wait to do, I said you can make your own, or after a season, we'll get you a logo. So that's how it works here in the PBO. And we have the Ottawa Dawn fans, Wailing Wailords. Now the Wailing Wailords actually went up against the Brooklyn Bonnets, and Brooklyn Bonnets came out victorious over that. And here are the stats for those. Just seeing it right now. Brooklyn Bonnets won. Those will also get posted to my YouTube. So from there, Wailing Wailords into the Toronto Star Raptors, into the Brooklyn Bonnets as we saw, into the Clef Keys, Marble Falls Miniors, LA Agrons, Minnesota Slag Kings, Tennessee Tyrannotars, I Like Bike, and Wichita Weaviles. Look at these teams more in depth, and you can either pause and look in this, or the next video will come out soon. And here's our schedule put together by Little Hill himself, all alone. So here are the 8 weeks, the advanced schedule, the advances will be voted on and will be updated accordingly. They have the Kalos division, which, if you make this fun video, I'm betting New York is the 1 seed, Frederick is the 2 seed. I think Kalos is a tough division, and it's a lot, and it's gonna be for the 3 and 4 seeds. I think it's gonna be a Boston, Ottawa, and Wichita will all be fighting. I mean, even Brooklyn fighting for a spot. Like, Wailing Wars is good, but this is one of the first times in the draft league, and there's a lot of applications I got, so I get some people confused. But Wailing Wailords, I do not think will make playoffs, but if he does, I will be excited to see what he will bring, because his team is sick with Firewater Grass starter core. And over here we have the Unova division, which consists of Tennessee, El Paso, Marble, I Like Bike, LA, Minnesota, and Toronto. Now this division, a little more clear cut, I think, on who will make playoffs. I think it'll be Tennessee 1 seed, Bike at the 2. It'll be Tennessee or Bike at 1 or 2 seed. Marble Falls might fill the 3, and then Minnesota and Toronto will be fighting for the 4. LA's a sleeper, and El Paso, again, new to draft league, so we'll see how it goes for him. Here's our frequency stats power rankings. If you drop them on, I'm going to put them in here. Preseason power rankings, here we go right here. Divisional standings, playoff stuff, up to after week 3. Transaction report sheet, almost had one. We're empty right now. Everyone really likes their teams and where they're at. Also, no trades week 1, which isn't official yet. It is tomorrow's time of recording this. And the Pokemon sheet, which we used to fill out the sprites, which I will hide. And here's the record book from what we have from season 1. But yeah, that's the PBO. I don't think there's anything else to really go over. I can show you all the application sheet, but it'll just be linked down below. Hope y'all enjoyed. Again, if you missed the memo, PBO. Also, we plan on Showdown, not Switch, because that takes a lot of time for Switch, and plus we don't get paid to do this. Blah blah blah. We value our time, whatever. This is what you should be looking at if that's what it's inspired by. We have a Discord. I'll drop the Discord link too if you want to join. Until then, bye everybody. Hope to see you in the PBO and watching the videos. And Pokemon Draft Leagues are back.